back to my channel where we talk about investments in the real estate market. Now keep in mind I'm not a professional advisor or financial planner. I'm just here, this is just for entertainment purposes. So any stock you do pick that we talk about, you just still do your due diligence and do your own research before you pick any stock. Don't listen to anybody from YouTube. All they're giving is their advice. So you gotta do your own homework, check your own stocks, check the details before you buy. So that's the first thing you gotta do. Don't just buy things blindly. Enough of that. We'll talk about investments, and this week the stock market just took a plunge, and but it goes up and down. It doesn't always go up. One day a stock is doing good, tomorrow it's going down. So you gotta take your time, pick stocks that you're interested in. Right now the one stock that I do have is the FedEx stock. Since I've been into it now since June. I started buying FedEx stock when it was at $162 a share. Now it's up to $284 a share. So it's doing pretty good. I'm the kind of investor where I don't buy and sell. When I buy a stock, it's gonna be for life. If I just pass it on to my kids and my wife and my grandkids. So anything I do pick, it's gonna be for life. I don't believe in buying stock and selling stock. So the only time I'll probably lose a stock is when it goes to zero. So I'm a long-term investor. I take the advice from Warren Buffett and Tony Robbins and Daniel Towns and Joe Greenblatt. Some of these guys these are some of the books I've read along the way in my financial journey. They've taught me a lot how to invest, how to pick stocks, how to study stocks, and stuff like that. So if you want to, learn from the best, these are some of the books that I've read. This is Tony Robbins Unshakable, probably one of the best financial books I've ever read. I'd recommend that one. Followed by Invested by Daniel Towns, another awesome book on investing. So when you read these books, they all pretty much say the same thing. They all tell you to, pick stocks that you know. Don't pick any stocks you don't know. If you're gonna pick a stock, make sure that it's a company you know and you like the way how they're doing business and how they're investing. Don't pick I know Warren Buffett he likes Coca-Cola. He's had Coca-Cola for years, from 20, 30, 40 years he's had Coca-Cola. Now the share doesn't sell that much. It's $55 a share, so it's a pretty cheap share. But it pays a dividend, The dividend is like an interest, so they pay you interest on top of what you have. So the thing with Coca-Cola, the dividend is 5%. So most stocks that you buy pay a dividend, which is like an interest. If you go to the bank, you put 10 grand in the bank, you put any money in the bank you want. Banks are paying you 0%, 0.5%, 0.5% for your money. They take your money, they invest it, give you almost nothing for it. Now, if you were to invest the same amount of money into stock markets, the safest stock, there's a few funds you can take. There's the index funds. I invest in the index funds because it's year over year, guaranteed, not really guaranteed, but year over year, you're getting back about 10% interest year over year on your investment. And there's almost no risk of losing your money because the three stocks that I invest are, this one's called VTI, which is a Vanguard stock. That tracks the whole U.S. stock market. So I believe there's over 3,600 U.S. stock companies in the stock market. So when you invest in the VTI stock fund, it tracks every single company in the stock market. If one, say, goes bankrupt, another one is replaced. So even if 10, 20 companies go bankrupt in a year, your stock, you don't really lose much money because as 10 goes, 10 comes in. So it's always being replaced if somebody goes bankrupt. Now there's also another one called Vanguard VOO. That tracks 500 of the biggest companies in the USA. That's the Teslas, the Microsoft, the Netflix. So if you can't afford to buy individual shares of a company, you just buy the index, the ETFs, or index funds. In Canada here, I'm with Investors Edge, and my brokerage account doesn't allow me to buy index funds. I'm not sure if it's in Canada, but the brokerage firm I'm with right now doesn't allow me to buy indexes, but it allows me to buy ETFs. And the ETFs are the same thing. The only difference between an ETF and a index fund is an ETF is like a stock, so you can buy it and sell it anytime you want. With the index funds, you can't buy it until the end of the day. So you can't buy or sell until the end of the trading day. It's the only real difference. And they're both the exact same thing. So I'm going to be investing in the index funds, VTI, which tracks the whole U.S. stock market, which gives me a return of about 10% per year. And they also pay the dividend, I think, about 2%. I'm also going to invest in the international stock market. I think it's, I'm not sure the ticker name, but it's a international stock which tracks all the international companies in the stock market, and also the emerging stock market. So my fund will cover 3 funds in my Vanguard account, which is VTI, VOO. Actually, I'll be having 4: VTI, VOO, VXU, and VWO. You have those 4 funds that tracks the whole entire world. Every single company that's in the stock market on the planet is in all those 4 funds. So you're guaranteed. You're not really guaranteed, but you're gonna get. On average, you get back about 10% per year. So if you invested, say, $10,000 in the VTI or the VOO fund, within 10 years, your money could quadruple. It goes 4 times. So 10 becomes $40,000 in about 10 years or less, depending on how the fund goes. So the beautiful thing about investing in the stock market is after 10, 15, 20 years, your money starts to compound. It compounds from the very beginning, but when it hits a certain point, it starts to double. So 10 becomes 20, 20 becomes 40, 40 becomes 80, and it's like a snowball effect. It just keeps going and going and going. Even after you stop investing, the money continues to grow. So I'm an old guy. I'm about 50 right now. I'm kind of late into the stock market, but I guess even if I'm not around to enjoy the benefits it, my wife hopefully be still around. My kids, my grandkids, they'll reap the rewards. So right now I'm just planting seeds. I'm investing in the stock markets. Even though I also have another stock called REITs. REITs is like it's real estate fund, real estate stock. So you invest in a REIT. Right now I'm gonna probably go into there's 2 REITs I'm looking into right now. AT&T. And AT&T, they pay a dividend of 7.5% almost. That's 7.5% on whatever money you have in your account. I'm also looking at Brookfield. They pay 10% dividends on their stock. And that fund right now is trading at about $17 a share. So $17 a share to buy 1 share. You put $1,000 on that, you buy 10 shares, buy 20 shares. It's pretty cheap. It's been around $17 now for a while, but at its high, it was trading at almost $33. So after the pandemic, we'll see how it goes. I like to invest in stocks that are good companies, good strong companies with good financials, with a good plan and good vision, but at a cheap price. Warren Buffett said that. You don't make your profit when you sell your stock. You make your profit when you buy your stock. So if you buy a company that at a discounted price, at least 30% cheaper than what the regular price is, you can't lose, because even if the stock drops a little bit, you're okay, because it has the potential of regaining what is lost in the market. So if it went down 30%, more than likely when this pandemic's over, it'll go back up from the 30% of this loss and then some. So your money will grow exponentially. And if you hold that stock for 10, 15, 20 years, and it's a good company, it's only gonna grow more, and you're gonna collect dividends. You're gonna collect from the stock appreciation. So when the stock goes higher, you get money. Right now I have a couple stocks, 1 stock and a couple of funds. Now with my FedEx stock, whenever the price of the stock goes up each day, I check my account, and boom, in my account, my FedEx stock, it's gone higher. Every 3 months they pay a dividend of your stock. Right now FedEx is paying like 2.5%, 2.6% per year. It's like 0.93 per 3 months. So every 3 months I'm getting about a 1% interest on whatever I have in my fund. So every 3 months I'm getting 1%, 1%, 1%, in the compound. So the more you have in there, and I'm a what they call a value investor, where I pick a stock, and right now with FedEx, each week out of my pay, it goes automatically into the stock. So when the stock is expensive right now, it's kind of climbing right now, so it's kind of expensive right now as opposed to what it used to be. But that's okay because each week a little bit, 10% of my paycheck goes into that fund. So it goes in there first. So if the stock is high, I can only buy a little bit of the stock. But if the stock is low, I can buy more of the stock. So that way you don't think about it. It's pretty much hands off. I'm a hands off investor. I research my stocks. And then I put it in my portfolio and forget about it. If the stock goes high, I hold off on the buy. But when the stock goes low, I buy. Whenever the stock, they call it a dip. Whenever your stock takes a dip or the prices start dropping and people start selling, that's when you buy more. You buy it when it's low and just sit on it. So that's what you got to do to invest long term. And there's a new fund now is managed by Kathy Woods. She's like the new Warren Buffett of stock markets. She has her funds, which is ARK Innovations. She has like they have five main funds, and they do stuff like in medical, and they call it disruptive innovations, where they pick funds in industries that are making a difference in the world, that are changing the way things are done. And you get a fund. She has a fund there that's in the banking. It has one of the main holdings is Square. Now they do things different than banks. You can do your whole banking on your phone. You can get loans, buy houses, do everything on your phone. You don't. It's kind of replacing what a bank does, and it's like almost no fees. And within 24 hours, you can get everything done. Actually, within hours, you can get everything done. You can get a loan for your business, whatever you need a loan for. Within a couple hours, you're approved or not approved. In a couple hours, you don't have to call the bank and make an appointment and bring all your stuff to the bank and have them sit down and talk to you about stuff, and you wait 24 hours, like a week sometimes, to get a response. This cuts out all that out. So they got five main funds. But even though these are ETFs, these are actively traded funds, meaning there's a what do you call it, portfolio manager who's buying stocks and trading stocks, and with them their fees is 0.75 for the fund, for the balance in your fund, which is not bad, because if you go to a bank and get an investment advisor, he's going to charge you like 1-2% for his fee, then the bank's going to charge you their fee, and there's all these fees. When you go to the banks and do your investing through the banks, the only guaranteed winner from that are the banks. They take their fees no matter what happens. If your stock tanks, making no money, they're getting their fees. It's almost like loan sharks. Whatever happens, they get their money, regardless of what. It's not based on what you get. It's based on what they get. So I have my brokerage account. I research my stocks. You can go on YouTube. There's a lot of guys on YouTube. There's a channel that I'm watching, guys. Is Stock Mo. He's a former financial advisor, stockbroker, and now he's a teacher in financing. So you go to his channel. Big ups to Stock Mo. I love your channel. You go to his channel. He does the research for you. He checks the companies, gives you his picks, goes through the financials of the company, if it's a good pick or not, the future potentials. He shows you everything. He breaks down everything for just like a financial advisor does. He does everything for you on that channel. And he gives you his opinion if the stock's going to do good or not, if you should buy it or don't buy it. So he's one of my top guys for financial advice, pretty much. Because, any questions you ask, anything you want, just ask him the question, he responds. Like I said, he's a former stockbroker, financial advisor, and now he's a teacher, so it doesn't even get better than that. And he gives you advice, free advice. You can't beat that. No fee for that. So so there's a few stocks that I'm eyeing right now. Like, I have a coworker. He told me about NIO a few months ago. He bought like $20 a share. He's already made like $1,000 on that stock in like 2 months. NIO is the Tesla of China. They're the Chinese automakers of luxury electric cars. So right now their stock is going for $28 a share as of today, as of October 16th, 2020. Their stock's about $20 a share. Now, 2 months ago, that same stock was going for $7 a share. So if I had gotten in 2 months ago, I probably would have made a killing. and they're picking this stock to be like Tesla. So Tesla right now is trading at about $400 a share. They're trading at $20 a share. So the time to get into this stock is probably right about now. So I'm gonna wait a little bit next month after the election. Then after the U.S. election, because the U.S. election is gonna determine a lot of things in the stock market. Sorry, excuse me. So after the election, I'll probably jump in there and load up all my funds, all my stocks. I'm looking to buy some shares in NEO. I'm looking to buy some share in Workhorse. I'm looking to buy some share in Brookfield Properties. That's a REIT. They invest in real estate. Right now the stock's trading at $17 a share. It's gone at 50%. Most stocks that deal with any kind of real estate's taking a beating right now because real estate's people aren't paying rent and malls aren't fully open and restaurants aren't open, so all these real estate holdings are taking a beating. So this is one of the best times to get in because after the pandemic's over and they get a cure for this, hopefully, all these real estate shares and companies, it's gonna go right back up. And then the key is to buy them when they're cheap, when they're low down. You don't want to buy stock when it's at a top price. If you buy a stock when it's at least 30% of its value, and the lower you can go, even 50%, 6%, you can't go wrong because guaranteed. You buy a stock, a good company that's 40% down its normal value, you're only gonna go up from that. You're not gonna go down. So every stock goes down. Right now, Apple was up last week. Now it's down to like 117. Last week it was up to like almost 130. And then in a couple of days, for some reason, it's like at 117 now. Apple is our phone companies and on iPod, iPhones, all that stuff. They're not going anywhere anytime soon. So you load up you buy some shares of Apple. For 10 shares, $1,000. You buy it, you sit on it. You don't do nothing else after that. If you see the share drops down, $5-10, you buy more. If you see it going up, you sit back. You only buy the stocks when they're going down. So you don't need to, I'm a passive investor. I buy stocks and I sit on it. I sit and wait, like a lion, stalking its prey. When the price goes down, I buy more. When it goes up, I sit back. If the price just keeps going up, I sit back. I only buy when it's going down. There'll be certain stocks that I'll be buying monthly kind of thing. Every month I'll be buying stocks of certain companies that I'll be buying FedEx monthly. I'll allocate some money each month and I put away on my FedEx fund. I'll be allocating funds in my ARK investments, five ETF portfolios, and each portfolio has about 50, 60 different companies. So if some people say I can't get to the stock market because I don't know how to pick stocks. I don't know anything. If you don't, Warren Buffett and most of the great guys, Warren Buffett and the other big stock pickers, they say they say for the average person not to pick stocks. They say Warren Buffett says that to be rich in the long term, a person only needs 3 to 5 good stock picks, and that from those 3 to 5 stock picks, you can be rich. You buy those good companies and they will grow over time. You collect your dividend. The stock will appreciate in value, so you're making money from the appreciation of the stock. The dividend payouts each 3 months, some pay monthly, and it's each month, and they pay religiously. So you got some companies that have been paying dividends for like 40, 50 years straight. It's not missing a dividend. It's guaranteed dividends, 20, 30, 40, 50 years. Coca-Cola has been paying dividends for over 50 years without fail. So no bank's gonna give you guaranteed interest. The banks cut interest all the time. Coca-Cola right now I think is paying like 5% interest on your money. So whatever the shares are at $50. If you want to put like say $1,000 on those shares, and every 3 months you're getting 5% on that money you've invested. So if you're not sure where to put your money, you pick a stock. Well, I wouldn't pick a safe stock. You can pick a stock like Coca-Cola, like Apple, or Amazon. Amazon is an expensive stock, but still, you put your money in Amazon, you're only gonna make money. It's only gonna go higher and higher and higher and higher. It may seem expensive now, but another 5, 10 years from now, it's gonna be like 10 times the value. So there's certain companies you can't lose in, like Microsoft, Apple, Tesla. Right now, Tesla's trading at $400 a share. There's some people are predicting that share is going to go to $7,000 a share or $10,000 a share. So $400 a share right now seems expensive. You put money aside, 10%. They all say to put 10% of your money away. When you get paid, the first thing you do is pay yourself first. Don't pay your bills. Don't pay your rent. You get paid, 10% of whatever you get paid, take it out from the top right away. Put it away. You don't need to put it in the bank. Just leave it in your house. Have a piggy bank if you have to. 10% of your pay, take it out religiously, no matter what, and whatever's left over, that's what you're left with. Don't pay your bills, eat food. You got to pay yourself first. If you want to be financially free, another 20, 30 years, you want your kids to have leave some for your kids and some inheritance for your kids, grandkids. You got to pay yourself first religiously. That's how the rich get rich and stay rich. Whatever pay they get, they pay them first. 10, 20, 30, whatever you can. Minimum 10% of your pay. That's the first step in becoming financially independent. Paying yourself first. Investing your money in low cost index funds. Most index funds will charge you the Vanguard, they charge you about 0.04, 0.03. That's almost peanuts. Just to manage a fund. Now, like I said, the VTI ETF tracks the whole U.S. stock market. That goes up 10% per year. Some years it's 20%, some years it's 30%. On average, it's 10%. So if you're getting average of 10% per year, and whatever you invest in an account over 10, 15, even 20 years, that's your retirement money. You can't really count on the government to pay for your retirement. It may be around in 20, 30 years, who knows? But right now, with the coronavirus and they're spending money like crazy, we're all gonna have to, we're all gonna pay that back. Politicians are spending money like crazy right now because they know they've got a great pension. They don't have to worry about nothing. Their future's already set. But it's us, the working class, let's pay all this money back. We have to pay for it. Our kids will have to pay for it. Our grandkids, our great grandkids. So what you should do now is take your financial future in your own hands. Invest in yourself and your family. Invest in the stock index funds. They're safe. If you don't know anything about stocks or funds, all you need is go to your bank or online. It's all to open a brokerage account. Most of them offered for free. You can go online. There's Questrade. There's Robinhood. There's Fidelity. You have all these online brokerage accounts that are free. You open a bank account. It's not free. They charge you $10, $15 a month just to maintain that. Even if you don't do nothing in a bank account, but add money into the account, they still charge you, unless you have a minimum 4 or 5 grand in your account, they charge you 15, 20 bucks a month, $10 a month, just to have your money in their bank, just to have the privilege of putting your money that you've worked for in their bank, which you're gonna lend to somebody else at a higher rate than what they're paying you. You better have to open a brokerage account. Even that same bank that you have your account with, every bank has a brokerage account. Some are better than some. I'm with CIBC because they offer one price per share. If you want to buy a stock, regardless of how many shares you buy in that stock, so you buy $10,000 worth of stock in that one stock, they charge you $6.95 per transaction. They don't charge you for any. There's no maintenance fee for the account. If you don't make a trade, there's no fee for that. Some accounts, if you don't make a fee, you have to make a trade every 6 months, so they charge you $25 for the maintenance. The investor doesn't charge you nothing for that, so it's a free account. If you never use the account, you never pay nothing. You can also, and the thing, I'm in Canada. I'm in Canada, in the 6th Toronto. So if you open an investment account in Canada, we have a thing called a TFSA, which is a tax-free savings account. I think in the USA they got like the Roth IRA, something like that, the Roth something, where you can invest. You can open TFSA in Canada. Also open your brokerage account, and they'll put your brokerage account in your TFSA. So which means whatever money you make and invest in your brokerage account in your TFSA, it's all tax free. It means you don't claim that tax end of the year. When you withdraw the money, you don't have to claim that tax for the income tax. So you're not getting taxed on that. That's like free investment. If you withdraw your money from your account, there's no fee to withdraw your money. So it's a win-win. If you want to protect your money, even if you don't want to invest. You know, open your TFSA, put your money in there, you know, invest in the stock market. You know, there's a lot of safe ways you can invest your money in the stock market. You're not really losing nothing. You have stocks called dividends. A dividend fund is where you have companies that pay dividends. Some pay 2, 3, 4, 5% in interest, and you have the fund that only track dividend paying customers, companies. So you have a fund with like 50 stocks in there, 50 companies in there, and all the companies in that fund pay a dividend. So every month, every 3 months, that account will pay you like, you know, something pay 5, 6, 8, 9, 10%. So you put $10,000, you have $1,000 in that account. Every 3 months, or some pay every month, but every 3 months, usually, you're getting paid 10% or 7% of your balance. So it's 3 months, you get 7% of $1,000, that's like $70. Next six months, you get $1,070 interest on top of that. Following month, it's $1,140 plus interest on top of that. So it just keeps snowballing. And the more you put in, the more interest you get, the more you return. You know, you just adding whatever money you have, any little savings you have, you just put it in one of those secure dividend funds. And they're most is pretty much secure. And you don't really lose money on a dividend fund because it's the companies that you have in there are usually high growth companies that ain't gonna go bankrupt. These are big companies like the Teslas, the Microsofts, the IBM. So you know these companies aren't going bankrupt. These companies have been around for many generations, or some just started out now, but you know they're gonna be around. Tesla ain't going anywhere anytime soon. You know, they're the pioneers of electric cars. They're like about 5-10 years ahead of everybody. So you know they set the trend right now. So everyone's trying to catch Tesla, and Tesla isn't just a car company. They also are an energy company too. They supply energy, so they're not just a car company. They have a lot of other benefits to owning the stock. So stocks that I want to buy, you know, I already have FedEx. My next stock I'm gonna buy is NEO. You know, at least 10-20 shares of NEO. It's a good price. It's $28 right now. You know, in 2 or 3 years, 5 years from now, you may go to like $200 or $300 per share. So if I get in now, I'm gonna buy you cost on that. I'm gonna buy every couple of months. I'm gonna load up on more stocks. I'm gonna probably get about 25 shares of NEO next month. And then every 3 months I'll buy 25 shares, 25 shares, 25 shares, regardless if the price goes up or down. Because this company is backed by the Chinese government. Right now, so they're the only basically they're the biggest electric company car in China right now, and they're backed by the Chinese government. The Chinese government gave them about $1 billion to invest in the company. So, you know, they want to go up against Tesla, and then you know China you get 1.5 billion people living over there. You know, even if only half a billion people buy the cars, that's a big deal. In America, you have less than 500,000 people, and you can see the price of Tesla. Tesla's selling cars like crazy in America and you know in Europe. And in America, you have less than half a billion people over there. You got about 400 million people, and not even half of the people in America buy Teslas. You got China, on the other hand, they got 1.5 billion people living over there, so they got high growth potential over there. You know, when they start making more cars and improving their technology, the stocks are going to hold it higher and higher. You know, when Tesla first started, their stocks were trading at the same price. You can in the very beginning when Tesla started, before they were making money, their stocks going like $15, $10, $15, $20 a share. Now it's going for $400 a share. They're predicting it's going to go to $7,000 a share. So there are stocks, you know, that I'm interested in buying. I like to buy stocks in their early stages. You know, I like to buy stocks when they're cheap and they're low. Like you know, like Workhorse is a new stock. New companies on the road right now. They're not really making a profit right now, which is a good time. But they have like high potential to you know grow 10 times, 20 times their value right now. So you know, you buy a stock that's $28 a share, and you buy you know spend like say $200-300 on those stocks. Get like 20-30 stocks shares. Even if you lose that $200, you know it's not really a big deal because you know it's an investment. Losing $200 is not a big deal because you probably go out for dinner and blow that in one night. So it isn't something that you're really going to miss. But if you buy those 25 shares and you sit on it for like 5-10 years, and who knows, in 5-10 years those 25 shares could be worth $100,000, $200,000. So it's a small investment for a possibly big return later on. They said have about so Neil's one of my top picks, Workhorse another top pick, Brookfield Properties another top pick. So within the next 3 or 4 months, I'm probably gonna have about 10 low cost, high value stocks that'll be in my portfolio, along with my index funds, my ETFs from Vanguard. I'll have four funds from that, so there'll be 10 stocks, 4 Vanguard ETFs, 5 ARK ETFs. That's about 19 stocks right there, and that'll be my foundation. Those stocks I'll never sell. I just continue to buy, and buy. As long as the company's not bankrupt, I will continue to invest and research and buy more. So just so you know, to have a good portfolio, you need to live at 20 or 40 different stocks in different industries. Energy sectors, health sector. I know with my ARK ETFs, they deal with mostly they're in energy, they're in health, they're in everything basically. It's a high risk stock, but no, high risk comes high return. So if you if you're invested in your index funds, your ETFs, that gives you a broad picture, broad portfolio. Each ETF will have about 50, 60 stocks in there from a whole range, managed by a good team. So it takes all the guesswork out of your hand. If you don't want to buy stocks, nothing wrong there. Buy your ETFs, buy the total U.S. stock market ETF. I think that a share of that is like $100, which isn't too bad, because you're buying the whole U.S. stock market. And when you have a little 10% of your pay, what if you get paid 10%, goes in the fund. So if you only buy one stock, that stock's about it. Total U.S. stock market. It means you have a percentage of each stock in the U.S. stock market. $100. Put $1,000, you have 10 shares. After time, every year you add $1,000 on your share. That's like about $100 a month you're saving. $1,200 a month you're saving. End of the year, every 6 months, add $600 to the stock. Every 6 months, $600 to your stock. Whatever you have, you add to that stock. You sit on that stock for 10, 15, 20 years. It seems like a long time now, but time flies. Before you know you're old, you have no investments, you have no savings, you got no pension, you got a mortgage, you got kids. So there's no better time than the present. I'm turning 50 soon. People saying, "Oh, why are you investing?" I'm investing because this is my second retirement. I'll get my company pension, government pension hopefully, but who knows? Maybe I'll live to be 80 or 90. In 30 years, this investment that I'm doing right now will kick in. You get older, you have medical bills. You got you get old, you got a lot of medical bills. So the investment I'm doing now, another 20, 30 years. Hopefully I don't need it, but if I do need it, it's there. I'm sitting on a few $100,000, maybe $1 million, who knows? You got inflation right now going on. Inflation's going on right now. So what, $100,000 today won't buy as much in 20 years from now, so you gotta plan for the future. Well, that's it for today. Don't forget to like, subscribe, leave me a comment below, and we'll talk again.